Today, we're going to cover the recent EB-5 redeployment policy change announcement that was made by USCIS in the last week. And we're going to address some of the key questions that are now coming up for both project sponsors and EB-5 regional centers.
Around 2012, we realized that with USCIS processing delays, that the traditional 5-year period of the EB-5 investment, either 5-year loan or 5-year investment that everybody had contemplated, was probably going to be too short. The new policy clarified a couple of things. It said, one, a reasonable time is generally 12 months. Number two, they've clarified what you can redeploy into.
USCIS has stated unequivocally that they plan on requiring that redeployment in the regional center boundaries retroactively, which means that redeployment that's already occurred outside of the regional center could result in either 526 denials or 829 denials.
Yes, you have a much stronger case when somebody's actually denied, and you might get thrown out on the basis that nobody is going to be imminently harmed. But there needs to be some certainty in EB-5, and I think it certainly would be justifiable to file a lawsuit now.
Initially, when a regional center is set up, it's the same Form I-924 for initial designation as it is for the amendment for expansion. So if your regional center initially was designated for 10 contiguous counties, but you wanted to expand to cover the remaining 20 counties in that state, let's say, for example, then you would need to provide either hypothetical projects or hypothetical and exemplar or just exemplar projects to justify an economic impact of those new projects across the additional 20 counties that you'd be seeking coverage for.
A project cannot change regional centers to expand the redeployment area at least before all of the investors have conditional resident status.
That if anybody is in the situation now where you have already redeployed in things that don't qualify under this, it might be a good time to reach out to Dan and Ron to start talking through what your options are on that, what the best path forward is.
Given these policy changes, selecting a regional center is now more important than ever. And as Ron mentioned earlier, it's now much more important to consider the entire approved geographic scope of a regional center, because that's really the area where you're going to want to redeploy the funds if your project is going to face a redeployment issue down the road.